Hey guys, welcome back to New Era Tech 5, and today we will discuss about iPhones. Why are iPhones so expensive as compared to other Android mobiles? So let's begin. So the so first of all, let's talk about the hardware and the software, the complete device. So Apple makes its own hardware and software, that is the all the components, processor, battery, display, etc. And also the software, which is the iOS, is developed by the Apple itself. Unlike other Android companies who manufacture their own handsets and devices, but they work on Google's Android operating system. So unlike that, Apple integrates its own iOS and iPhone to best complement its own engineering hardware. So that's one of the answers for why iPhones are so expensive. If I tell you some additional points, in many cases, in majority of the cases, it has been found that iPhones are tremendously faster than Android phones. One of the possible reasons for this might be that Apple makes its own hardware and its own software, so both so the research and development is done on both of them simultaneously, and are though both of them are made such that they can support each other and perform jobs faster. However, in Android phones, the companies make their devices and are dependent on the operating system provided by Google, that is Android. So that might not provide such an efficient synchronization, and that's why iPhones are tremendously faster than Android phones. Plus, iPhone uses actual metals that are higher end at than any other smartphone, which means the metals used in making of those phones is very high or comparatively expensive. Unlike the cheap or less expensive metals and materials used by other smartphone companies which make Android phones. So that is another point. Moving on, Apple iPhones come with an additional warranty of 2 years for any accidental damage, which is quite often known as Apple Care Plus. So it is a paid service by Apple, which is another reason for the high price of iPhones. And the price for this paid service is included in the iPhone price, obviously. So that's it. And another point is that iPhone actually has a hardware for a fast unlock, unlike the Android phones where there is not such a good mechanism where you can perform multiple checks such as iris scan, face scan, like Apple does. In most of the Android phones, I'm not talking about all, but most of them, what what the mechanism is that it will sense your face and movements, so that it feels like there is a person moving and not a photograph, and then it unlocks. But uh, Apple does not do it this way. It has made a separate mechanism in the iPhone itself, in the software and the hardware, which performs multiple checks to confirm the identity of the person, that too in just fractions of seconds. Talk about the product placement and advertising. The product, that is the iPhone, has been positioned as the higher end product since its launch in 2007 by Steve Jobs. So it has been a major player in some major developing smartphone markets like India. So it allows the company to reap much higher profit margins on each phone than its competitors like Android phones. So this has kept the iPhone at a very successful rate, and Apple continues to gain a huge profit from this technique. now let's come to the conclusion. So, as we've discussed in the past 4 to 5 minutes, that the iPhone is expensive. Yes, because it has some amazing features such as the face recognition we discussed a few minutes ago. It is placed at a far better place than many of the other Android smartphones. The main reason is that the complete device is developed by Apple, and all the chips, components, even the software, as we discussed, iOS, and almost everything is made by Apple itself in its factories. And as we discussed, the synchronization sits well and it is very much faster. So when we talk about speed and response, which is again handled perfectly by iPhones, and last but not the least, the listing of iPhone as a high-end product completes it all. So yeah, we've seen that iPhone is much expensive than the other smartphone models of Android. A new concept, as in which is going around these days, is about the iPhone 12 without coming without a charger. So as I've seen on a lot of reports and videos and here and there, I've made this conclusion. This is my personal opinion, that there might be a possibility that Apple might not provide you a charger in the iPhone 12 box, which is, I guess, supposed to be launched this year. This is because if previously someone is already using a iPhone, so he can use the previous charger in his new phone as well. Or if someone is upgrading from an Android or any other operating system to iPhone, you can buy a separate charger for a reasonable price. So this step might reduce the iPhone the cost by a huge percentage. So that might be a good effort, but this is what I saw in many reports. But I personally did not see reducing the charger in the box making any sense. So that we'll see in the future when the iPhone 12 launches, that if it is provided with a charger or not. So that is it for this video, guys. Do not forget to like and share this video, and also subscribe to New Era Tech 5. Until then, bye bye, take care. See you next Thursday.